Hi, this is Brian with ActiveMelody.com. In this week's guitar lesson, we're going to be looking at the minor and the major pentatonic scale and what that means. How do you know which one to use? When do you play them? And all of that. So this is a great intro to blues guitar. For those of you that have always wanted to play it and you're not sure where to start, this is a good starting point. And for those of you that have been playing for years, there's going to be a lot of really cool licks that you can steal from this. So either way, you're covered. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the first half. If you'd like to watch the second half and download the tablature for this, you can get those things by going to ActiveMelody.com, go to the weekly lessons page, and do a search for EP368. All right, so in this lesson, we're going back to the basics. It's been a long time since I've done a lesson like this where we look at just the minor and the major pentatonic scale. Nothing else. We're not going to be playing chord changes. This is like Blues 101. It's actually improvising 101 because you can apply this to country or rock or really any other style. But we're going to talk about the minor and the major pentatonic scale, what they are, how do they work together, and we're going to be doing all of this over a blues that's played in the key of A. And we're going to be jumping back and forth between minor and major pentatonic scale. And I'll explain how you do that, why you do that, and everything as we get into this. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at, we're playing this song in the key of A. And actually, when it comes to playing lead, I always think of like there's two paths that you can take. You can either play the changes, that would be this path. And that's where, what that means is every time there's a chord change, you're changing the scale to match that chord. So in this case, there's 3 chords, so it'd be changing the scale 3 times and playing different versions of those scales as we get into it. And it can get really complicated. Even over a simple chord progression like this, you can make it as complicated as you want by playing the changes. So that'd be path A. But most of your blues stuff, and definitely the place that we all start, isn't there. We start by just staying in the key of the song. And so what that means is, I don't care what the chords are. I don't care that there's an A, a D, an E chord. I'm not going to be playing those chord changes. I'm just going to be playing in the key of the song. And so I'm going to be playing the A minor pentatonic scale when I want it to sound more bluesy. And I'm going to be playing the A major pentatonic scale in places that I wanted to sound more happy. And so it's just sort of like a lever. I can pull it to go more blues if I want to play it in that position, or I can make it sound a little more happy, more country, Allman Brothers-ish. It's always hard to describe the happy thing, but you'll get it. You'll start to feel it as we get into this. But those are the two paths you can take. So in this one, we're going to be playing in the key of the song. So the first thing we want to look at is the A chord up here. Now that's using the E chord shape. This is out of the caged system, C-A-G-E-D. And I did a lesson on that, which is EP273. So you can go back and check that out if you need further information on that. But we're not going to be playing this chord, but I want you to look at it because I'm barring, when I play that chord, I'm barring on the 5th fret. And the 5th fret is our root fret. And what I mean by that is, when I play the A minor pentatonic scale, pattern 1, but you can see on the 5th fret, I hit every string as I play through that scale. Now let me show you the scale real quick. It's 8, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5. That's the minor pentatonic scale, pattern 1. I talk about the patterns. There's 5 different patterns and different people categorize them differently. It really is just 5 notes. The pentatonic, penta meaning 5. It's just the same 5 notes that get repurposed in different positions. But for this, to keep it simple, we're just going to stay in this pattern 1 for most of this. I'm going to go into pattern 2 here in a minute and show you some notes from that. But most of everything we're going to be playing is pattern 1. All right, so are you with me so far? We've got this chord shape, the E chord shape, and we got minor pentatonic, pattern 1 right there into that chord shape. Without even looking at my neck now, I can play minor pentatonic blues licks off of that chord shape. I can just feel it. I can pivot that easily into that minor pentatonic scale. That's why it's important and why I'm always saying connect things back to chord shapes. Because now I don't care what key the song is in. It doesn't even really matter. As long as I can find the 1 chord, you know, I can listen and hear what the other people are playing. I can go right into pattern 1, which could lead me all over the fretboard. So it's a good anchor point. Okay, so that's the first thing. The next thing we're going to learn is the major pentatonic scale. pattern 1. It's the same pattern. It's the same shape. So you take that same shape, and we're going to go this direction, 3 frets. So we're going to take everything we just did and go down 1, 2, 3. And that is your major pentatonic scale for A. And what's cool about that is it connects to this chord shape. So now you can look at your A chord shape, and you can see that that A chord lives right in the middle of your major pentatonic scale pattern 1. Big light bulb goes off for some of you because you realize, oh wait, so if I want to quickly get into major pentatonic licks, if I'm playing a C chord, for example, there's the bar, right? So there's my C major pentatonic scale pattern 1. If I want to play D, so real quickly now I can get into that that happier, major sound, that major pentatonic sound. So that's the minor, that's the major, and that's sort of how they connect back to these 2 basic chord shapes. And once you get that, the rest of this starts to become just licks that you can play using that. So I started this off with it's a call and response blues. So you can think of the call as being that first lick. There's your call, and then the response is a blues shuffle rhythm. And since I can't do both parts at the same time, a call and response is the perfect thing to do. So I could play a lick, I play a rhythm. I play a lick, I play a rhythm. And I'm just back and forth, call and response. So the first lick sounds like that. Now that's and that's major pentatonic scale, pattern 1, right? So it's a major lick. Even though it has a bluesy feel, it's coming out of the major pentatonic scale. So we're going to do 4th fret, 3rd string, bend and release, pull off to the 2nd fret on the 3rd string, and then down to the ring finger goes down the 4th fret, 4th string, and then back to that A note, which is your 2nd fret, 3rd string. So all together, the first leg, and then we throw in the shuffle. Now that shuffle is just strings 5 and 4, and I've got the open 5th string, and I'm fretting here. I'm actually picturing the A bar chord there, but or the A chord, I shouldn't say bar chords. But I am barring on the 2nd fret, and I'm playing strings 5 and 4, and I'm going back and forth between the 2nd fret and the 4th fret on the 4th string. That's the shuffle. So that's all I'm doing over the A chord. Now I'm doing the same thing. Let me just cover the D and the E chord. What's cool about this is you can take that shuffle. If you want to go to the 4 chord, we're just going to move everything up. Now we're going to play strings 4 and 3. We're still going to pivot between the 2nd fret and the 4th fret. Just this time it's on the 3rd string. Now back to the A chord. And then for the 5 chord, we're going to do the same thing, but on strings 6 and 5. So that's why the key of A is super popular for blues guitar, because you can get to all 3 in one little area there. It makes it very easy. And you've got all those open strings, the open A, the open D, the open E. That's the first leg. Then I came up to this. Now this is still major pentatonic scale. See how happy it sounds? It still doesn't sound super bluesy, but blues would sound like this. Hear the difference? It sounds a lot more serious when you get into that minor. But to play that, I'm going to slide up to the 6th fret 3rd string, 5th fret 2nd string, hammer onto the 7th fret 2nd string, back to the 5th fret 2nd string. Now what are these notes? Those are still major pentatonic scale, still the same 5 notes, but now we're using pattern 2 of the major pentatonic scale. So pattern 1 is here. Pattern 2 connects, so you can see where that 5th fret is for pattern 1. Pattern 2 is here. And I realize there's more notes depending on who is showing you the different patterns for the pattern 2 lick, but I always just use these 5 notes. I don't really go beyond the 3rd string. I don't get, if I'm going to use a lower note, I'd go into pattern 1 or go into another place. That's just the way I've always done it. That's my own little quirky thing, so You know, you can follow that if you want, but that's what I'm doing. 7 5 7 5 6 on the third string. And what another way to think about that is you can picture where that lives with the E chord shape. So I've got these two notes, which are in the bar there, and then this note, it would be in the triad. So if we were playing the A triad, you've already got you've got 3 of the 5 notes of the major pentatonic scale right there. You just need these two. So that's why I like that shape, is because I just connect it to that triad. And it's very easy to switch from pattern 2 down to pattern 1. Now that's also true, so if that's pattern 2 of the major pentatonic scale, that's also true of the minor pentatonic scale. So if we're in A and we're playing A minor pentatonic, pattern 1, it's up here. Pattern 2 then is up there. So just remember, your minor pentatonic and your major pentatonic are separated by 3 frets, so 3 frets apart. Okay. Back to the A shuffle. And then I go into minor pentatonic scale. Now we're going to go. Hear the difference? So it started kind of happy, and then it got serious when we went over the 4 chord. Now, why did I choose minor pentatonic? Just random. I'm wanting to show you that you can mix and match. I could have started with it sounding very bluesy and serious. It would just give it a different attitude. But it's totally up to you as to when you can play in either of those scales. And I'm giving you these licks to give you ideas. So we're going to slide into the 5th fret, strings 1 and 2, 7th fret, strings 2 and 3, and then we're going to do 5th fret 3rd string, 7th fret 4th string. Sounds like that. And then after that, we go to the D shuffle, which I just showed you how to do. And then I went, that's going right back into pattern 1 of the minor pentatonic scale for A. Now see, this is another good example. Even though we're playing over the D chord now, doesn't matter. I'm still in the key of the song, so I'm still playing in the A minor pentatonic scale. And I will be playing either A minor or A major through the whole song. So I went to the 8th fret, 2nd string, 5th fret, 2nd string, quick slide into the 7th fret, 3rd string, and then the 5th fret, 3rd string, 7th fret, 4th string. That last note would be the 5th fret, 3rd string. Back to the D. Okay, so from the beginning we have. Okay, and then after that I went. Now let me show you this. This is super cool because it's very useful. So it's strings 2 and 3 on the 2nd fret, and then we're going to stay on strings 2 and 3. Now I'm going to change the shape. So instead of them being on the same fret, I've got my middle finger now on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, ring finger is on the 4th fret, 3rd string. Walk that up, walk that up. So we go from here to here. Now look at what's going on there. I'm just going back and forth between A chord and A chord. I'm looking at, instead of looking at the full chord though, I'm just looking at strings 2 and 3, which is a harmonized third. So what's nice about that when you walk it chromatically is you have a connection now, a bridge between this chord shape and this chord shape. And I use that going this way and I use it going this way. So if I'm playing up here, I can go down. So you just get lots of ideas from that. And I use this harmonized third a few times in this just to kind of reiterate the importance of that. It's just something I find very useful. So we go up to the A, and then I went to the E. So that is still just major pentatonic scale, pattern 1, sliding up to the 6th fret 3rd string. And I did that instead of trying to bend it, because I'm on an acoustic. I just thought it'd be easier to go. So 6, 4, 2, that's all on the 3rd string. There's the 4th fret 4th string, and then we come down to this note, which happens to be an E note. So this is 2nd fret 4th string. And when I say it happens to be an E note, that's why it sounds so good. That's why it works. It resolves nicely because we're going to the 5 chord. And then the last thing that I played to get out of that goes. So that's ring finger on the 3rd fret 2nd string, sliding up to the 5th fret 2nd string, 3rd fret 1st string, a quick slide back to the 3rd fret 2nd string, 1st fret 2nd string, and then the 2nd fret 3rd string. Now what is that? Well, this is getting into pattern 5. This is pattern 5 of the minor pentatonic scale. And then sliding down to pattern 4. So I know I said we were going to try and stay in pattern 1, and obviously I didn't do a very good job because in this situation we're going into pattern 5. When I say pattern 5, so if this is pattern 1, behind pattern 1 is pattern 5. And then behind pattern 5 is 4. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just loops itself. So that's what we're doing. And I don't want to get any further into it than that, but that's where those notes are coming from. So after I played that 2nd fret 3rd string, and then you hit the open 5th string. You didn't hit this one twice, you just come down to the open. And then there's the turnaround. This is a classic turnaround that you've heard in a million blues songs. You can think Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson. It's just super used. But what I like about it is I can connect it back to the 1 chord, which is the key of the song. So I know that's my root fret. Remember, the 5th fret's our root fret. So my ring finger is on the 5th fret, 1st string, and then my middle finger is on the 5th fret, 4th string. Now I'm going to be picking the 4th string while I pluck with my ring finger on the 1st string. So it's hybrid pick, this part. So you hit the 1 string twice each time. Now look at what happens here. On the 4th string, it goes 5, 4, 3. And then we come down to this note, which would be the E note, which is the 2nd fret, 4th string, with the open E on the 1. So you have, and then just play an E7. I think I did it like that. That's another little takeaway that I always do when I'm playing an E chord, especially in a blues. Hammer on your index finger. It just makes the chord sound that much bluesier. And then pinky goes down on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. And that's as far as we're going to get into it in this video. In the second video, we're going to go over all the other licks that went through the same cycle, but we added a whole new set of licks. So it's really designed to give you lots of ideas. And remember, you have access to the tablature as well, so you can loop sections, you can slow it down. There's a lot of benefits to having the tablature and a PDF that you can print off. Let me back up and play through this one more time. I'll play through it slowly, and then I'll see you in part 2 where we'll cover the rest of this.